Hey, 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 everybody. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy streaming day, happy prostitutes gathering at the World Economic Forum day. Yeah, you heard that right. Posted a real fun video about that on social media just before the stream this afternoon. It turns out everything we talked about yesterday, how the World Economic Forum is screwing everybody out of their freedom and liberty, they can't take one day off from being the horrible CEOs, politicians, and dominatrix individuals for world domination from screwing anything that breathes, including your life, but also the mass conglomeration of prostitutes that have now gathered this week in Davos, Switzerland. You cannot make this crap up at all anymore in 2023, but no matter, we are going in a totally different direction with the stream tonight, not talking about politics at all, which is actually a lot more fun in my opinion. And we're going to be talking about dating culture within the realm of Generation Z, what that means for my generation and what that means for the future of our country and world as we know it. I know we are streaming right now across platforms, simulcasting to Facebook, to YouTube, to Getter, and of course to Rumble, where we will be showing the entire stream tonight. I'm super glad that all of you guys are here across platforms, but just like the last couple of days, I've gone ahead already and put the link to the Rumble stream in the live chat for Getter, for Facebook, and for YouTube. If you don't want to say sayonara to us in about 15 minutes, go ahead and jump over to the Rumble stream. That is where we will be spending our evening in its entirety together. Rumble folks, you already know what's up. You are already here, and that is awesome. I do want to say really quick, because we've gained a huge number of followers across platforms by simulcasting this way in the last couple of days. There are probably a lot of you who are not familiar with who this random chick sitting in the corgi room is. Hi, I'm Isabel Brown. I'm an independent Gen Z content creator and full-time live streamer, giving you a Gen Z perspective into everything that is going on in the world, in culture, in politics, in religion, in what's happening on the internet and the craziest TikTok fads and everything in between every single night. We've taken a couple of weeks off of streaming right now at the beginning of the year to dream up an even bigger and better and more impactful live stream to bring to you every night. We are not going to be streaming for the rest of this week, and hopefully I'll have a lot more information for you ASAP by next week about what all of that is going to look like moving forward. But in the meantime, glad you are all here. As I mentioned, we are talking about dating tonight, so things are going to get a little real. The one thing I ask of all of you guys is to put your comments in the live chat. Let us know how you're feeling about all of this. If you have an anecdote or a story or a question about anything we're talking about tonight, please, please, please utilize that live chat feature. Something that makes these live streams with me fundamentally different from a lot of the other content that you see on Rumble, especially, is that most of the live streams you are watching here on this platform are actually pre-recorded podcasts or TV shows or videos that other creators have done in a time prior to when the stream is actually going. We are live in real time. It is 6:14 p.m. in Phoenix, Arizona, in my spare bedroom where we are hanging out right now. And I love to communicate with you guys back and forth in the live chat, because it gives us an opportunity to build that sense of community and real unscripted authenticity. You are seeing this in the moment, which is always a lot more fun, I think, in the world of streaming. There's a bunch of people talking in the live chat already, and I asked you guys, before we jump into everything I planned to talk about, while we wait for the stream, tell me about the worst date you've ever been on. If you haven't already dropped that in the chat, please put it in there, because I'm sure this is going to be a great conglomeration of stories. Alex is thinking, so Alex, I expect you to fully put something in the chat here on Rumble ASAP. MMAZZOCCO. Ooh. Mazoko, that's what it is, says the worst date that you've ever been on are a bad online date where the pictures were way off. Yikes. Not a big fan of dating apps, so I'm with you. Totally with you. Who else has a great story about online or otherwise bad dating? We asked the Getter chat as well, so let's see if you guys said anything. Daniel Maynard says, we went and saw my movie instead of her movie. We didn't go on another date until we were almost both graduated from high school. Oh, you said it was your first date with your wife. We were freshmen in high school. I was too dumb to realize it was a date. We went and saw my movie instead of her movie. We didn't go on another date until we were both almost graduated from high school, and then you stayed together. So you had 4 years between your first date and your next date, your second date? That's insane. Becca from Canada, who is super excited to drive to DC for the March for Life and the summit. Becca, I'm so excited to see you again. I've seen you IRL, in real life, in the flesh, several different times at Turning Point USA conferences and other stuff. I'm so pumped to see you this weekend at the March for Life, and I'll be sharing some details about that at the end of the stream. Becca says, your worst date was he took me for pizza and he made me pay for his pizza. No. Huge red flag there. Absolutely not. Anybody else have a crazy, horrible dating story? Leo on Facebook says, I hate everything about dating. Well, that's actually really sad, but is a very common reality for what most people are actually living through right now, and that is exactly what we are going to spend the stream talking about when it comes to Gen Z. I'm trying to think of my worst date ever. I've had a few that have been really bad. I've had several boys make me pay, so that's been never fun. But I can't really think of like a standalone, singularly bad date. I'll have to ruminate on that. If you guys have more stories, please put them in there. Alex Padron dropped his. Long story short, 2 introverts on a first date is not a good idea. She literally texted me while sitting next to me to talk. Maybe I'm just so extroverted. Like when I take those personality quizzes, 16 personalities is the best one, by the way. I actually get a legitimate answer that I am 99% extroverted. I hate being alone. I just can't do it. If I'm alone, I'm actually with someone else. I'm just doing my own thing. Like, somebody else needs to be in the room. I hate being alone. Maybe I'm so extroverted that just sounds like actual hell to me, Alex. But that is insane that someone would sit there on a first date and text you to talk to you sitting next to each other. Asinine. That's crazy. What else is asinine is the reality that we are living through today. So I decided that I wanted to stream on this topic tonight. We've been covering several different topics through these guest streams here on Rumble for the last several days. On Monday, I can't even really remember what we talked about. We talked about Gen Z politics. That's what we talked about. We covered the fallout from the midterm elections, the future of the conservative movement. We talked with my dear friend and mentor, Dave Rubin, about expanding conservatism and why we need more conservatism and how we can build that coalition between dramatically different groups of people. It was a super interesting conversation and totally encourage you to check it out if you were not watching live on Monday or haven't already seen it. Yesterday, we went real political and exposed everything that was happening in Davos, Switzerland this week for the 2023 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum. And I was looking for subjects to talk about with you all today that were a little bit more cultural, but couldn't really find anything that I was super excited to cover until I was scrolling through my TikTok this week and saw the singular most sad, depressing compilation of videos when it comes to dating life of the standard we are upholding as women in particular of this generation that I'd ever seen. So I want to play this compilation for you. I'll pause it a few times, provide some commentary, but it is absolutely heartbreaking that this is the norm that we have set for dating in 2023. Take a look.
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
He's like, hey, do you want anything in here besides a plan B? And I was like,
So she's turned on. This girl is turned on when a guy asks her, hey, do you want anything from the other room except for a plan B pill, an abortion pill?
Guys want to like go on dates with you and like, well, guys have interest, yes, but that interest is based off of like no shallow pretenses ever, and they will be so enamored with you, but it's very clear that they have no intention of actually trying to get to know you as a human being.
What?
So that girl says every single boy she's ever dated, her dating advice to other girls on TikTok is, will boys be interested in you and want to take you on dates? Yes, but really they're only interested in you for the most shallow pretenses possible, aka having sex with you. That's normal. That's the norm. These girls sit around in a circle and say what are their turn-ons in men.
He doesn't like me at all.
When he doesn't like me at all, turns me on.
I love when he doesn't like me.
Just because you're pretty, like, it'll get you into more spaces, I believe, but it doesn't make them see you as a person.
What's your
You're not seen as a person if you are a pretty woman who takes care of her appearance.
advice to a guy with feelings?
Have them, but don't show them.
Yeah, just cry on your own.
If a man
Have feelings, but don't show them. And I guarantee you those girls have turned around and complained about boys not having strong enough feelings or expressing their feelings in relationships before.
is ever asking about your body count, you're talking to the wrong man.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little lonely.
Go on dates. Go on as many dates as you possibly can.
Go on as many dates as you possibly can. Date as many boys as you possibly can. No! But that's normal.
Figure out what you like. Figure out what you don't like.
Why are men so offended by women who do not want to date poor men?
What? Why are men so offended by women who do not want to date poor men? So just being somebody's sugar baby is the answer to everything in the dating world in 2023.
Why do men not understand that giving you money makes them like automatically an 8?
What? So we don't want them to be poor, and we also want them to just give us money. I do not understand sugar daddy culture at all.
he'd like me better if I wasn't a bitch. I'd like him better if he wasn't 5'9".
What? This is how shallow this has become.
Katie, would you date me?
I would date you right now.
Now that you're
Yes. What was she wearing? We just gotta... What is that? Okay.
Katie, would you date me?
I would date you right now.
now that you're at
Yes.
an age where you're like, okay, I actually want a husband, you're gonna be looking for a nice guy.
But then you look at that situation, like, don't you want to be the nice guy? Like,
I hope that you're looking for a nice guy if you're looking for a husband. This girl starts dancing and says, I have 8 dudes begging to take me out, making plans with another 3, knowing I'm not going to go. Still in love with my ex, telling my sneaky link I think he's the one. To conclude, I think I'm a lesbian. If that doesn't sum up the state of American dating today, I don't know what does.
don't you want to wait for that girl?
Why are men so obsessed with, like, justifying or, like, finding an explanation as to why they're not getting laid?
And what it makes me wonder is, okay, but do you like me? Do you like being with me? Do you want to just sit around and do nothing with me?
No one wants to talk to each other in person, right? Because we're scared of rejection. We're scared that you're going to laugh at us and whatever. But then you get on social media, you go on a dating app, and no one has a real intention of actually meeting you. They just think it's going to be a cute little distraction while you get over your ex.
I haven't had sex in 6 months.
Good, you probably don't need it.
The love of your life probably would fall head over heels for you, but she's not gonna. She's gonna go for some rando that's half as cool as you are.
That is so sad that the average nice guy actually feels that way. Why did we normalize dating the loser, half in, half out, libtard men who live in their mother's basements?
Simply because he was willing to walk up to her and you weren't.
On a mission. Don't want to talk to anybody. Like, that wasn't the vibe.
So, this compilation existed with that voiceover. I'm going to mute this video and rewind and just read some of these for you because these were absolutely so sad. When you sleep with him and he suddenly needs to focus on himself because he's in a dark place. Almost like we should be teaching young women not to sleep with someone who they're not married to. But we don't talk about that. Instead, we start handing 5th graders condoms in public schools, like in Chicago. We start encouraging children to read pornographic illustrated books in their public school libraries. We start talking about lowering the age of consent and rebranding what used to be criminal activity. We start telling women that it's empowering to sleep around and sleep with as many people as possible. And then this hurts, this breaks our heart. And everybody looks around and wonders why. This one said, when you're so single, you don't even have anyone to drunk Snapchat. As if that's going to bring you fulfillment or happiness. Absolutely devastating. So I watched this video. And it progressively kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And having talked about the subject of dating quite often in my content creation career, before we started live streaming every night about everything in culture, I was hosting a self-produced podcast on dating and relationship culture called Outdated. For those who were asking me about locals, I know, Alex, you were asking me about that in the live chat yesterday. We're going to talk about that and how that plays into Outdated at the end of this stream. So stay tight. And stay ready in the live chat, ready to go, ready to jump on that announcement at the end of the stream. But I was so devastated watching this, knowing all of the things that I know in the background of my mind from the hundreds of hours of research I have put in to dating culture within Generation Z. And I realized that the average person who maybe isn't a Gen Zer, who isn't sitting there on TikTok consuming this content all of the time, who isn't hearing similar phrases and stories and anecdotes like this from their friends at work or their family members or people that they hang out with on the weekend, you may not understand how dramatically different dating culture for the average 25-year-olds down to teenagers in high school really is from what you may be used to in dating. Becca, you mentioned that the worst date you ever had was a guy not paying for you, which I think actually is, it's awful, but it's so much better than what other people have been dealing with lately. A lot of you guys were talking about disagreeing on what movie to see or other things like that. Gen Zers who are watching the stream totally get it. Dating today is so much worse than that. And I think it's because we've pushed the envelope so substantially and so significantly that there really is no such thing as dating anymore. Dating used to be about courtship, winning over somebody's heart, figuring out if you were a good lifelong match for one another. If you were, great, you got married and you stayed together. And if you weren't, then you broke up with that person and you tried to find the person that you were supposed to spend the rest of your life with. Now, marriage as an institution has become so degraded and dematerialized and deconstructed that we have the lowest marriage rate in the United States of America since we began recording marriage rates in 1867. And divorce is so commonplace that over 50% of the people who do choose to get married and overcome that extremely low number of people choosing that in the first place, over 50% of those couples will end up getting divorced. So instead, people are perpetually dating forever. And if you're perpetually dating, you lose that sense of excitement, of courtship, of a temporary experience where you're trying to learn as much as you can about people, and you really are half in and half out all the time. When you couple that with the complete devaluation of sexual intimacy experiences, with the impact that pornography has had on my generation, you literally cannot open a social media app without porn being just everywhere all the time, including like Twitter, by the way. That's the worst place where it currently exists. Forget about TikTok and what everybody is saying about TikTok. Wrong. It's mostly on platforms like Twitter and others. It's horrifying to know just how bad things have become. So much so that people are choosing not even to date in the first place. We're looking around at the state of affairs with dating, with marriage, with divorce, and we're saying that we really don't even want to be a part of it to begin with. I found this video from Bustle, which is like a cutesy magazine place, basically. And I really want to show it to you guys because I think it's incredibly fascinating, talking about the generation that is choosing to stay single. Choosing to stay single. Let's pull this up and react to it. I have way too many windows open at the moment, so hang tight for 2 seconds because my arms are not long enough. Why our generation is choosing to stay single. Watch this.
Am I ugly? And would you date me? Because I'm picky.
Because I got my heart broken. Nobody is as cute as me that wants me.
It's a good question for my therapist. Just kidding.
The universe was like, you're gonna be single. And I also was like, I think it's time for me to be single.
I need time for myself after a breakup last year, and like I'm growing exponentially by myself right now.
I'm not accepting anything, you know, I'm not just taking anything. I'm very specific with what I want.
Previously, I didn't set standards for myself in terms of the energy that I accepted from men. And now I'm single because I have those standards.
Why am I single?
I haven't thought about that question.
They don't even think about it.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm just looking for some unicorn that hopefully will come one day.
It's not. I haven't even thought about why I'm single, that girl said. How sad is that?
Nothing out there. I'm ready to get married. People say 5 years. I want 2 years.
I can't find anyone that wants to be with someone as talkative as me right now. It's tough.
I just get bored sometimes of people.
Oh, so that's how you feel?
And then they get so whiny and you have to text them so much.
I feel like it's a lot of energy to date someone right now, and I feel like if I'm going to exert that energy, you better be worth it.
I don't believe someone has to be perfect, but I want people to like deal with their past traumas and heal themselves before like integrating into my realm, because I'm really, really protective of my energy. Like, I don't even hug people, so why would I date somebody that's not ready to like grow with me?
I think I just need to work on myself right now. I think I just need to like
find myself a little bit.
For the past 2 years, I've really been like thinking about me and like, what do I need for myself? And what work do I have to do for me first? And then maybe I'll meet somebody. Before, I was always in a relationship back to back. Never had a moment for myself.
Just focusing on like priorities that I should be focusing on.
I work. I have a job. So I'm trying to find somebody who's able to understand that. But if someone's just like, I've been texting you all day, like, where have you been? Like, it's not gonna work.
The people that I get in my DMs are crazy to even think that I would talk to them. I'm not gonna be rude about it, but it's just like, I'm not interested. No, thank you.
Not even interested.
You see me, you see you, like, no, thank you.
I'm always on 10, I'm always on go. And you have to be just as ambitious as me in trying to, get your goals out there. I can't be stagnant. That's never worked for me.
I don't do
Why is dating and goals mutually exclusive? I've wondered that for a really long time. Why are those two things mutually exclusive? I don't think they are. In fact, my fiance pushes me to be the best version of myself, but we've lied to this entire generation by saying that their goals and their job and finding myself is a completely mutually exclusive situation than a relationship.
Suburban thing where you date the same person forever and you just go through the check marks of life. Kids, marriage, I mean, there's no point for that. Because if you marry somebody, they're entitled to have your stuff.
If you marry somebody, they're entitled to have your stuff. So we shouldn't want kids in marriage because then I won't have any stuff of my own. That's pathetic. That's actually really sad. Some of those answers I actually really agree with because it is a mistake to just date all the time unless you know what you really want. And of course it takes time for any young person to decide what they're looking for out of a significant other. But really? I don't want to give up my stuff. I have my own goals. I'm tired of people being clingy. I just really don't want somebody to be there all the time. It's me. Coupling the idea of the me generation with so many other conflating factors leading to a lack of intimate relationships within Generation Z when it comes to dating, when it comes to the influence of pornography, a lack of actually sexually intimate experiences because we've degraded the value of sex so much, has really brought us to where we are today. And we're going to dive in really deep to that in the next couple of minutes on the stream. If you guys are watching on Getter, if you're watching on Facebook, if you are watching on YouTube, we are going to say goodbye for now. Thank you so much for joining us on the stream. Go ahead and jump over to Rumble. I'm going to drop this link one more time in your live chat to make sure everybody has the opportunity to join us. We're going to continue the stream exclusively on Rumble for the rest of the evening, and it's good. We're going to be reacting to some more videos, covering some research polls about where Gen Z is at with the percentage of us that are choosing to date, that want to get married, what that means for our lives. Join us over on Rumble, and we will see you very, very soon.